Okay, guys, here we go. Here's the objective for today. So the second day in a row that we're going to do basically the same thing. I think it's a pretty tough skill, and I want to make sure that we have it before we move on. Okay? So our objective for today is the same thing that we did yesterday. A little tweak to the wording, but it's pretty much the same thing. I can approximate, okay, abbreviate there, any square root up to 15. So last week on Friday, we worked on the perfect squares. We talked about that. We're going to talk about that again in a second. And then today we're going to do some more approximating square roots to make sure that we got it. So I can approximate any square root up to 15. If you need to pause the video and get to that point, or you can get the objective down, that's cool. And let's move on from there. All right? Here we go. Let's just refresh our memory here on the perfect square roots. Perfect square roots. Okay. 1 times 1. So I got 1. 1 times 1. 1. 2 times 2, 4. 3 times 3, 9. 4 times 4, 16, right? 5 times 5, 25. Okay, remember, these are all our square root symbols here. 6 times 6, 36. Okay, let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. Here we go. Let's slide over. 7, 49. 8, 64. 9, 81. I want you to repeat these with me as you go. 100. Nope, just kidding. 10, 100, 11, 121. The last couple tricky ones, right? The last couple of tricky ones. Here we go. 12, 144, 13, 169, 14, 196, and 15, 225. Look back at those numbers, guys. It'll help you when you go to do your problems later on. Okay, and you could probably realize after we did our work yesterday how helpful it was if you already knew those. If you already knew them, your life was a whole lot easier. Okay, I got 3 short examples for you today. Okay, square root of 27. Now today when you do your Delta Math assignment, it's going to ask you, between what integers are these numbers? Well, the integers come from when we set up our problem with the perfect square roots above and below. So the perfect square root above is 25. Perfect square root below, the one below is 25. The one above is 36, right? Which means that it's somewhere in between 5 and 6. These are our integers that it is in between, okay? So it's in between 5 and 6. Now yesterday we talked about, hey, how do you know how far away it is? Well, 25 is 2 away, and 27 to 36 is 9 away. So it's a whole lot closer to 5. So if I go with my number line, right? Here's 5, here's 6, here's 5.5. Okay, it's a whole lot closer to 5, so it's going to be somewhere down in this area. And we talked about yesterday that being like 5.1, 5.2, somewhere in that area, and there's my answer. Okay, 5.1, 5.2, I like those as estimates. Does that make sense? I hope so. If not, ask me questions in the chat. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at 60. 60, perfect square root that's below 60. Perfect square root that's below 60. That one's a little bit trickier, but it's 49. Perfect square. Look at that chart and find out where it would go. 49 and 64. Right, if I go back to my chart real quick, this is how we do it. Oops. Okay, I have 60. It's going to be somewhere in between this area right here. Okay, it fits right in there. So just kind of keep that in your mind as you go. All right. So 49. 49 to 60. I know that's going to be 7 here. It's going to be 8 here. Get my number line drawn if you need to. Okay. Now as I look at this, 49 to 60 is 11. 60 to 64 is only 4. So I know when I go 7.5 here in the middle, I know it's going to be somewhere in this area because it's closer to 64. Okay? Actually, I like it here a little bit more than where I first drew it. So let's say that is, you could say, 7.8. You could say 7.9, 7.7. Any of those would be good estimates. Okay, maybe like 7.8 a little bit more because it's not right next to 64, but it's close to it. Okay? 2 more, I think. 157. 157. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at it. Perfect square, that's between 157 and a little bit bigger here. So if I go back to look at my chart, okay, 157 is going to be somewhere, I'll make a different color here. 157 is going to be in between right here. Okay, right in between, right there. All right, so 157, it's going to be in between square root of 144, square root of 169. Now let's see how far apart each one of these numbers. I know it's going to be between 12 and 13. Right, if I look back at my chart from the beginning, right there, that pink line in between 12 and 13. Okay, how close away, how far away is it? 157 to 144. Okay, we got 13. 157 to 169. We got 12. All right, look at that, guys. It's basically even. So when I go to set up my chart right here, I know 12.5 is in the middle. I like that as my estimate. 12.5. Okay? Any questions with that, guys? If you got questions, put it in the chat. Last one we're going to do together. Here we go. Last one. 91. Square root of 91. If I go all the way back to my chart. I know it might be confusing that I'm jumping around, but I want to show you guys how this works. Okay? I don't remember my number. What was it? 91. 91, okay. 91 is going to be in between 81 and 100 right here. Right? So it's going to be in between 9 and 10. Okay. So I know it's going to be between 81 and 100. Those perfect squares are 9 and 10. Okay, let's see how far away it is. There's 9. There's 10. Let's see. 81 to 91, I know that's going to be 10. 91 to 100, I know that's 9. Okay. So once again, we're pretty close to the middle there. I'm good with 9.5. Okay? Any questions? So far, so good. Okay, we're going to pick back up with the bell work, and we will finish up there in a little bit. Okay? So I'll see you guys in a few minutes.